Hi, I'm Susan Schaefer, and I'm the publisher of Island Arts Magazine. I'd like to welcome you to Artist Talk. Okay, so today we're talking to Mike Svob, all the way from White Rock, BC. He's going to be our feature artist for the July-August issue, which marks our 60th edition. And Mike has been a professional artist for 40 years, so welcome, Mike.
Hi, Susan. Nice to be here. Nice to be here.
Well, even though you say you've been an artist for 40 years, you did say you sold a painting to your aunt before that. Do you recall what painting it was?
Yeah, I do. And I think my sister has the painting. I would have been about 16 at the time. So that's like 50 plus years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, I don't know how you decide 40 years, 50 years. But anyway, it's been over 40 years since I've been a professional artist. But yeah, it was really important in the sense that somebody, actually paid for something I did. It gives you the confidence to do another one. It's never about the money, but the money speaks louder than words in a lot of cases. Like you get a lot of that's nice, that's good, and all kinds of things. But to live as an artist, you need money like everybody else. So the money helps.
Do you remember what you sold her, what she paid for it?
God, it
Like
probably,
$10 or $20?
yeah, something silly, right?
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, I can't remember.
Oh.
It wasn't much.
Yeah, well, it was a family discount.
Well, I guess so, but I've always, one thing I learned in the business is to, treat everybody the same, and generally I do, so I don't, my family hasn't bought a lot of paintings, they bought a few paintings, right? But one of the funny things you hear all the time, and this is friends and family, when you start out as an artist, I'm in my 20s, mid-20s, early 20s. And, I went to university for all sorts of things except art, never went to school for art. But the immediate reaction is, what are you, crazy? And, all that kind of stuff, because I had a pretty good job and all that kind of stuff. And they all felt sorry for me. And, they'll say something to the line that one day, when you're really good, I'm going to buy one. And then the next time you see them, I wish I would have bought one before your prices started going up. And then, and that you hear that for the rest of your life from a lot of your relatives, right? Which is kind of cute.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Of
remember you came out and you did a workshop with us. I'm thinking 8 or 10 years ago. It's been a long time. And the one thing, I learned a few things from you, Mike, but one thing that really sticks in my mind is you made us do thumb sketches before we touched the canvas. And a quote from you was, if you can't make it work on the paper, it's not going to work on the canvas. Now, at the time I thought, oh, who wants to do that, right? But over the years, I've really incorporated that practice into my painting, and I now I teach that to my students because it's really a fun time to work out all your designs. So my question is, are you still doing your little thumb sketches, or do you start your paintings that way?
When I started doing it a lot, it was Brian Johnson. He's passed away now, but he's from the Soup, but really good artist. And he's the one who instilled it into me. And I practiced it religiously for years as a painter. I'd do 20 before I did a painting. I would not do one and do a painting. I would do 20. And then I would pick the best one, or, something to that idea. And I would limit my amount of time, and all the things I told you, and you probably tell your students, right? What it really is it's the thinking about what you're actually going to do. It's like they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Or says 1,000 words, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when somebody says to you, I like this or I like that, the words don't mean much to me. I have a sense of what I think it is. So, and it's the same thing in my head when I look at my ideas that I might be painting. I don't know what I'm going to do until I actually put the tools in my hand, which is a pencil, first of all. and the simplification of the black and white and small, so I get the big picture. And it works. It just works. It's like thinking about whatever you're going to do, and planning it. It's the first step in planning. So that's why I've always pushed it. And like you, probably most of the people I taught practiced it and found it useful. Right? And I still do it.
Yeah, I find that I love going big. Like I'll do a big sketch on a huge piece of newsprint, and then I'll do another one and another one. I don't do the tiny little sketches, but it really has helped me along the way. Another thing I remember from your workshop is kind of whining to you about, oh, Mike, I don't know how to paint a tree. And you said to me, Susan, you're not painting a tree. You're painting something that looks or like a tree, right? You just have to give the impression of a tree. And that really stuck with me as well. Like, oh, so your viewer just has to think that's a tree, right?
That's the trick.
I still use that trick too.
It's not a trick, right? It's the way our brains work.
Yeah.
Right? So the shapes, colors,
Yeah.
setting, all the different things say tree.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to learn to look for and put in there to say what you want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you working on now?
I've been working a lot on, as far as the painting goes, is changing what I do. And one of the ways to change what I do is to take a break from what I was doing. And when I'm approaching it now, what I'm trying to do is limit what I did before, my practice. And this is the way I've always gone about being an artist, is don't always do what works, try new things. So I done a bunch of paintings, which are basically very cold blue paintings. I did a bunch of those, and just try to force yourself to make them work. Or how do you make them interesting, right? It's not that they're all cold colors like blues and greens, but I would incorporate mostly dominant blue and green paintings, which is very rare for me. But then I did a bunch of those, and I'd work on the method of laying the painting in. It's changing from transparent to maybe opaque, and then layering transparent. There are all kinds of different things, but just different things to move me along as an artist, to come up with fresh ways of looking at things and new ways of treating things.
Well, that kind of winds up my questions.
Okay.
You have any? Thank you, Mike Swob, our feature artist for July, August 2022.